got a bag live. It's your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance, www.hssb.cc, sportsjuice.com. I'm enjoying my Line and Cougar Creamy Dark. Timothy Producer Patterson.
You really are enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it a little too much.
You've enjoyed too many of them.
Timothy Producer Patterson, let our listeners know how they get in touch with us tonight, sir.
Hotline's open, 219-743-9743. Yahoo Instant Messenger is up and running. It is keyword Bolo Punch Boxing Hour. And you can send us an email 24/7 at bolopunchboxinghour@yahoo.com.
Saturday night, Las Vegas, Nevada, super middleweight action. This was the catchweight. No titles up for grabs, but it was all about bragging rights. Kelly, the Ghost, Pavlik.
How they get this to be a 12-round fight if there's only if it wasn't a title defense? I don't understand that.
I never thought about that. That's weird.
Yeah.
Wow. It never even entered my mind. Never even entered my mind. Well, it should have been a 10-round fight. You're right. And it's not even mentioned.
And actually, those 2 rounds played a pretty big factor because the fight was pretty close going into those last 2 rounds on most of the cards, and Pavlik pulled away in the last 2 rounds. The scorecards actually, the one card's 117, 111. That's pretty far compared to what most people watching saw.
117, 111, 116, 112, 115, 113.
Yeah. Most people seen it pretty close, within 2-3 points for Pavlik.
I can't say that I could give Pavlik any more than a 3-point swing. But when you're getting into the 5, 6, and 7 round swings, it's like I'm not really sure. You really like Kelly Pavlik if you're giving him that many rounds.
Well, he outlanded Taylor by a lot of punches, but the fight just didn't look to be that much in his hands until the very, very end of the fight.
Well, this was very much not what the first fight was. The first fight was all bombs. No one really knew what the other guy could take. Both went down.
They didn't know the other guy's style quite as much and what to protect from.
It was not as exciting as their first fight. Their first fight could have been fight of the year.
It was still a very entertaining
No
fight.
one's going to put this fight of the year, though. No one's going to put it even in the running. No, not even close.
No, you're not going to get that without a couple knockouts and then the guy coming back anyway.
Pete Perry says that that's because it was a former champion and a champion fight. That's why it went 12 rounds. Just to let you know.
But it's not a title fight.
And it's still a champion, and he's going to be defending that again against.
So a champion only, even if it's a non-title fight, evidently can fight for 12 rounds.
Obviously he can. He just did.
I'm just saying, did they pull out some stupid belt to put up for it? Were they both, a white kid and a black kid fighting for a Latino belt? Because they do that all the time. Kelly Pavlik, still undefeated, 33-0 with 29 knockouts. Jermaine, bad intentions. Taylor, 27-2 with 1 draw. 17 of his wins coming by way of knockouts. So,
Yeah. Pavlik looked pretty good here. He's going to be going on probably to fight Duddy or they're saying Arthur Abraham or
Tito Trinidad,
which is kind of a surprise. And then they're saying, what's his name? Taylor's going to move up to maybe fight Winky Wright or Kessler or Alan Green or Lacey or something like that. It's in the middle.
Whatever. That's crazy. I can't see Jermaine Taylor fighting his Olympic teammate. I don't see him fight Jeff Lacey.
Well, it's kind of weird that Lacey and Winky Wright are actually both in the same weight class now.
It doesn't seem right.
Because they train together and are really good friends and everything.
It doesn't seem like they weigh anywhere near the same.
No, it doesn't.
But I mean, when you see Winky Wright putting on those extra couple pounds, it's like, okay, I guess they can stay to the same ring at least.
Yeah.
But I mean, are they ever going to put the gloves on the same night? It's interesting.
It's odd too because they're two totally different fighters. Winky Wright's all defense, and you see Left Hook Lacey's all offense, and they train together and everything. It's like weird,
That is a bizarre mix because they don't fight anything alike. And they say styles make fights. I would never want to see those two fight. I don't ever want to see Winky fight anyone though. I want Winky to retire and let's see him in 5 years in New York. I'm not interested in seeing him fight anybody. I like Winky Wright. I think he's a hell of a guy.
Well, a lot of those guys that we mentioned, who would you like to see Taylor fight? I mean, Kessler, Green, Lacey.
Keep it young. Keep it young. Mean Joe Green. Let's see it. Let's see him fight.
Alan Green, not Mean Joe Green.
What did I say?
You said Mean Joe Green.
No. Alan Green, young. Let's keep it with 2 young guns. I don't want to see him go against Mikhail Kessler because
Well, Kessler's pretty young too. Kessler, that'd be a really tough fight for
I
him.
think he'd lose against Kessler.
He could lose against any of those guys. I think all those would be a good fight. I think Alan Green would be probably the easiest out of that group for him to go up against.
Who would be the easiest?
Alan Green would probably be the easiest out of that group. I don't know. Maybe even Lacey. Lacey's kind of sloppy with his defense.
Well, Lacey, he's known. He knows his style because he trained right alongside him for so long on the Olympic team. I don't think he wants to take those left hooks, though. Not that I saw too many left hooks when he just fought recently.
I think actually Lacey would probably be the biggest payoff for him with the least risk.
Well, there's almost no risk against Jeff Lacey, so I think you're probably dead on right there. Let's talk a second about it if Kelly Pavlik were to fight Tito Trinidad. Talk about not meaning anything. We were just talking about...
and not meaning anything against Roy Jones. What's it going to mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was against two guys that both had piles of belts. Their house still has piles of belts on the wall, but none of them were current. And that meant nothing. And that turned out to be a really cool fight. It was cool to watch. But that's almost not fair. Putting him in with someone that really can hurt him, that will almost guaranteedly knock him out.
Yeah.
Now, granted, if guaranteedly is a damn word, you guys all agreed with it, but Pavlik, I mean, it should be noted, this is the first time Pavlik ever fought past 9 rounds. And he went all 12. And he wasn't even really breathing heavy by the end.
And he looked good in the last 2 rounds. He actually Dave Taylor in the 11th round, and then it helped him win the 12th, basically.
So the first time we ever see him go into those championship rounds is against the best fighter he's ever fought, a rematch at the heaviest he's ever fought. That is impressive stuff.
Yeah. He's getting to be a pretty impressive fighter.
Oh, they say that Mayweather just barely beat him out for Fighter of the Year. ESPN was reporting that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably with their rankings, but I don't know. I don't know how you would go up against them.
You can't go against Mayweather. It's almost not fair.
Yeah, not last year with the fights that he had last year.
Beating Oscar and knocking out an undefeated Hatton. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? It's not even fair. It's not even fair. Let's move on. But, well, what do you think? I mean, do you think Trinidad's got even a puncher's chance?
I don't think.
If Pavlik can beat Edison Miranda, who is the most vicious puncher in the division, and I'll go on the record saying that I think he is. I don't think he's as good a boxer, as good a fighter as Pavlik, but I think Miranda punches harder than Pavlik does.
I think the best fight out of all those would be Arthur Abraham, and that would get him another belt.
I think Abraham against Pavlik. You're building toward. You just said what I was building towards. But I wanted to say, what do you think would happen if he were to fight Trinidad?
He would knock him out probably in the third round, third round.
How do you feel about Duddy?
Duddy, probably about the same.
I don't think Duddy.
I think it would be a better fight.
Duddy would last longer.
I think it'd be a better fight between Trinidad and Duddy.
Trinidad and Duddy are set to fight.
I know, but I think that would be a better fight.
Oh, yeah, you don't think Pavlik should even be part of that. That's funny. But yeah, I was building towards the fact that I think Arthur Abraham would be the best fight for Kelly Pavlik. Chances are better.
It'd be the toughest, and it would earn him another belt.
Chances are better right now that he's going to face John Duddy, who probably will be the easier fight between him and Abraham. Won't get him a belt, but it'll get him some notoriety. And worst case scenario, John Duddy loses, but he gets to raise his game by rubbing up against a real champion.
Yeah.
If Pavlik fights Trinidad, though, that's like Larry Holmes fighting Ali when he was 88 years old. That's not.
When he was 88, huh?
Well, 86. He had his birthday. He was 85. Junior bantamweight action on the undercard. Fernando Montiel knockout in the 4th round over Martin Castillo. You've seen Martin Castillo fight. He retains his junior bantamweight championship of the world. Montiel, 36-2-1 with 27 knockouts. Castillo moving down to 33-3 with 17 knockouts. Junior bantamweight action. Christian Mijares, we've also seen him, took on Jose Navarro, won a 12-round. Won a 12-round split decision against Jose Navarro. He retains his junior bantamweight championship, 117-111, 115-113 for Mijares, and then 120-108 for Navarro.
Yeah,
Please tell me what happened there. Please tell me what happened there. Good Lord.
So maybe the one judge got the two fighters confused between the two they were?
That is the only thing that I can admit, that I would allow, is what I'm trying to say. That's the only thing I would allow for, is if for some reason you thought that the two Hispanic guys were actually switched. Other than that.
Yeah, they're even saying that, even Dan Raphael is saying that here. He doesn't understand how a guy with a blood-sucked trunks ended up having a unanimous decision in his way.
Junior middleweight action, Ronald Hearns, the son of the Hitman, took on and beat by TKO in the 8th round Juan Astorga. 18-0 with 14 knockouts still for Ronald Hearns. Astorga moving down to 11-2-1 with 6 knockouts.
Yeah, Hearns is ready to step up and maybe find someone a little bit better. Michael Walker from the area is calling him out. I don't know if that's the guy he's going to choose. It's a pretty protected fighter there by Arum. He doesn't want to put him up against somebody too strong. I mean, this guy that he fought was 11-1 coming in here. It was a little bit better test. I don't have Michael Walker. He's around 20-0. In front of, I don't have his record in front of me, but that's about what he is. It'd be a pretty tough test for him if he got in there with Michael Walker. I don't know if that's the guy he's going to choose. It's basically going to be up to Hearns. He's the bigger name.
Yeah. Flyweight action, Brian Valoria, the Hawaiian Punch, who is not Hawaiian, won the fight in the flyweight division against Cesar Lopez. 8th round unanimous decision, 78-73 twice, 77-74. Valoria moving up to 21-2 with 12 knockouts.
Yeah, he's not showing that big knockout power, but he's getting the fights done. He's kind of stepping along after he had those couple losses in a row there. And well, I think he had 2 losses and then a draw. So it was like almost 2 years, I think, between his last wins, and then he started getting on this little winning streak here. So it won't be too long until we see probably Brian Valoria back up there for another title shot.
I like him. Didn't you get the chance to see him live in Vegas?
Yeah, in Vegas on a Telfair card. Or not Telfair, a Versus card.
Versus.
That was right when Versus started playing the fights again.
I was very, very jealous.
I seen him and Andy Lee. John Duddy was supposed to be on that card, and Andy Lee subbed in.
Good sub. You got to have a sub. Middleweight action, Danny Jacobs. TKO victory in the 2nd round over Alexander Volkov. No pro wrestling jokes, please. Volkov still has not won. He is 0-1-1, Tim. Awesome.
That's good.
0-1-1. Jacobs has won all three of his wins by knockout. 3-0, 3 wins by knockout.
Yeah, he's a prospect from Brooklyn. Was in the Olympics, on the Olympic team, and lost one of his final. I think it was his last fight before he turned pro. He decided since he lost, he was just going to go ahead and turn pro.
But no, we're expecting big things from Danny Jacobs. We'll see what there is to see with him. Junior lightweight action, Miguel Angel Mikey Garcia. TKO victory in the 5th round over Jorge Ruiz. Ruiz moving down to 5-4-1. Garcia still undefeated with 9 knockouts, 11 of his wins.
Yeah, Top Rank got a lot of these guys that are about 10-0, 11-0.
I don't know what they do. Do they just hang out in Mexico? Say, ooh, that boy can scrap. Let's sign him. Junior middleweight action, Sergio Martinez got a 4th round win over David Toribio, 40-36 twice and 39-35. Whatever. I don't even like, talking about 4-round fights. It's almost it's 1 round more than amateurs.
Well, and it's against a guy that's here. It's 42-1. It's kind of surprising that he's going to fight a 4-round fight when he has that high of that many license for.
He's had 44 fights, 22 knockouts, yet he's fighting in a 4-round fight. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it has to do with his age. He's probably up there in age. That's probably what it was. He was coming in probably as the opponent.
You need to pay a bill. Saturday night, Nuremberg, Germany, heavyweight action, Nikolai Volkov. I said it. I'm the one that said no wrestling jokes, and then I said Nikolai Volkov. Former WBA heavyweight champion Nikolai Valoev beat in a 12-round title eliminator former WBO heavyweight champion Sergey Lekovich. 120-108 twice and 120-107 once. Valoev still only 1 loss. That was to Ruslan Chaigev. He is 48-1 with 34 of his wins by knockout. Sergey Lekovich, only 3 losses to 23 wins, 14 wins by knockout.
Yeah, this is what you were saying last week. It looked like someone's daddy beating up on the kid.
Well, you're going to have that.
With Valoev.
You're going to have that with Valoev. I mean, shoot, if it would take someone like Manute Bolo to really look down at Valoev. It would take someone, of that height.
Shaq Daddy in there.
Shaq would Shaq be looking down at him? Shaq's probably 7'3", 7'4", right?
Yeah.
Valuev's, they keep calling Valuev 7 foot, 7'1". Yet when I went to the press conference for Valuev against Monty Barrett, his trainer was saying he's actually 7'5", but no one would believe me. So we call him 7'1".
Yeah,
he is a monster of a damn man. A monster.
And he works well behind the jab and throws in some power punches. It doesn't look like he's throwing that hard, but how big he is, you know.
I can't imagine.
It's like hitting somebody with a sack of concrete. You know he's throwing hard.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's coming slow, you get out of the way of that thing, man. I mean, a bus coming 15 miles an hour at you. It's like,
Still a bus.
It is a bus, man. Get out of the way.
But he's a big boy, and he's going to be getting a chance to get back and get his
He's going to
title.
get a big check. He's going to be going up against WBA heavyweight champion Ruslan Shagayev, who seems to only want to fight nobodies.
Wants to fight, definitely keep it in the Russian ranks there. Stick with Russian fighters.
That's not cool. He needs to be fighting the best guys out there because Valuev was on his way to doing that. Valuev was cool enough to give Shagayev the shot. Shagayev needs to return the fight.
Well, I see Tommy
Now he
Brooks.
has to.
Tommy Brooks was in Leakovich's corner. We could have tried to hit him out of this.
I've got Tommy Brooks' number, so yeah, we can talk to him.
Might have to give
Well,
him
he
a-
might not be too pleased with coming on the radio right now. His man just lost the chance of a lifetime right there. He's got to start it. He's got to get back in line right now.
Yeah, it didn't look too good though. Valuev just kind of pitter-patted around through the bounds behind it. Some highlights on the YouTube favorites page down the
Think about Valuev. If he doesn't have to work, he's not going to. He only really throws bombs when he absolutely must to stay in the fight. And that's one thing I cannot say enough. Valuev is not a workhorse. He will do what he has to do to win. If it looks sloppy, then he'll do it. But if he's got a guy that's throwing back, he will step up to the challenge. Now, he can't do that for 12 rounds.
No.
He can pit, he can pat, he can play the game. But
And like we said, his pit and pad is pretty strong.
yeah, but he's not throwing, the mega bombs. But damn, if he decides to, you had better get out of the way. Anyway, Friday night fights were in Uncasville, Connecticut. Welterweight action. Delvin Rodriguez won a 10-round unanimous decision over Troy Browning. 190 twice and 99 to 91.
Yeah, Browning's getting up there in age. He's 41 years old, or 40 years old. He's almost 41, and 17-year career. But he did all right. It wasn't a very entertaining fight. That it was.
No.
Delvin Rodriguez was kind of working behind the jab, putting the 1-2 on him all night.
It was lame. That was a lame fight.
Yeah, it was
a lame main event.
It should have been the co-main event.
On paper, that seemed like it was going to be pretty cool, though. Between them, they only have 3 losses.
Michelle Picarola, I believe, is who Rodriguez lost to.
Couldn't say.
I believe that's who it was. I'm not positive, but he lost in his last fight, and this is his return fight to get back on the winning heat there.
And Friday night in Cicero, Illinois, Emil Sotomayor Kegaman was there ringside taking his awesome photos, and you can go and see those photos how?
If you get on our, is it on our page yet, Timmy?
Yeah.
He's
You
got
go right onto the main page then.
You go right onto either the links page where it says Smug Mug page right in the on the links page, or you can go to contact page. It's also there. The way to contact us through it says Smug Mug page. It's got links. Take it right there.
Yeah, you can buy all the way down. Pictures, lowest price is $3. Highest price, I believe, is $19 or anything like that.
What we need to start doing is selling autographed photos of Timmy Patterson.
So they added right, why just Timmy? You need to get all of us in there.
No, just the celebrity.
Say I'm the only one that's going to make any money.
Just the celebrity, yeah. Oh man, lots of great fights up there. I mean, I'll let you go ahead and talk about it because you
Alvarado
actually
and
saw it.
Rodriguez, their fight was a tough fight. Alvarado had his hands full at the beginning of the fight, finally found some holes in Rodriguez's game, and ended up winning it later in the fight. Then the co-main event, Francisco Rodriguez against Andre Wilson. Andre Wilson was winning the fight going into the round, was the second round. It was handling him pretty well, throwing a lot of bombs, landing on him, and all of a sudden Wilson just catches him with a nice right, drops him, and takes that. That was a pretty big upset. They weren't expecting that to happen.
Gotta love when you get to see that.
And AJ steps up here and takes on George Gonzalez, local favorite. You would think AJ Papara, with him being from Chicago and the big Polish background, he would have had a lot of fans in the crowd. But George brought more fans with him.
Were they calling him George?
Yeah.
Or Jorge?
George
Okay.
is what they were calling.
All right.
And they had probably 10, 15 guys sitting right behind me, ringside, because they were calling out directions to him in the ring, how to land on Ajay. And he actually took quite a few rounds from Ajay. He actually, one of the cards came up even here, and Ajay was slightly ahead on the other two and ended up winning the fight. The one judge had him actually ahead 59-55, but none of us ringside actually thought it was that far of a margin from Farah.
Oh, okay.
Then the final fight of that was Cuevas and Hodge.
Freddie Cuevas, we see him a lot.
And that one started off really slow. They were kind of dancing around, just filling each other out, and then they started throwing some leather at about the second, third round. And Cuevas was kind of dancing and throwing the punches, boxing style, and Hodge was throwing the bombs, landing the big bombs, just not getting the number of punches to win the round. So he ended up losing that fight. And then a couple other ones on there. The start off the night was how do you say this guy?
Alejandro Lopez
against Terrence Roy. And then it started off the night, just got the action going. They were talking about putting that one on TV, but then I don't think that one was televised. And then Ivan Popoka, and he has David Diaz in his corner against Guadalupe Diaz, who has upset a couple people, actually nearly upset Popoka in their first fight. This was a rematch, and
that was a cool trick that Diaz pulled, where he actually opened a second mouth over his eye.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
They said that was from a punch, but I actually think it was from a headbutt. But nonetheless, he stopped him on the cut. Popoka was very, very noted. I can't think of the word, but had in his mind that the cut was there, and just continued to throw to that
very
cut.
Very conscious of it.
Yeah, conscious of the cut. He continued to throw at it and open it up. Popoka, the only thing he needs to do maybe is try to, when he gets on the inside, he has David Diaz in his corner, so I know David can help him work with this.
Sure.
Is to step and work on those angles. Once he gets this guy up against the ropes, which he's done in his last two fights, he just opens up and throws. Instead of doing that, maybe work the angles and try to look a little bit more for the open shots. And I think he could have actually knocked Diaz out a lot earlier than actually stopped it by the ref.
It's interesting you bring that up, because sometimes when a fighter has a guy coming right at him throwing punches like that, their instinct is oftentimes to just clinch.
Yeah.
Just get on in there and make sure that those punches stop, so that when you're broken up, then you can start your stuff. If being a counterpuncher, if being a counterpuncher is not your strong suit, then I could see that playing right into your hands. But you're saying with David Diaz in Popoka's corner, maybe he could work on that a little bit and not get so tense when there's an exchange.
Yeah, well, Popoka was winning the exchanges, but he can land a lot more clean than what he was.
Sure.
He can step around and open more holes for himself to land between your punches. It's like you're saying, that when someone comes at you, you just cover up. You don't put the earmuffs on and try to block everything you can. If you step around, you can get around those earmuffs and land with the punches.
I was very jealous that you got out there.
It was a good night of fights, and then, like I said,
with Riddick Bowe being there. Now, at what point did they bring him out?
He actually, they just announced that he was out there in the stands. He was there.
And you must have flipped when you heard it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I actually seen him beforehand, because they announced him after he'd already been in there for a while, and I had already went over and talked to him and got my photo with him and stuff.
Oh, I see, okay.
And got his phone over for the show. But yeah, it was pretty exciting. Like I said, I came up to him and said, I got his phone number, and I go, you want to write this down? He goes, no, you write it down. And I wrote it down, and I didn't write his name down on the thing. And he goes, you better write my name on there. I'm like, I'm not getting any other heavyweight champ phone numbers in this place. And he goes, two-time heavyweight champ. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that's awesome.
I watched Friday Night Fights when I got back, and right after Friday Night Fights, they actually had his fight with Holyfield.
The first time they fought?
Yeah.
I caught that because my TiVo picks up everything with the word boxing in it.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting some
I've
crazy
seen that
stuff.
fight many times, though.
Well, yeah, but with my TiVo, if it's got the word boxing in it, it picks it up. So it picks up this particular show on how to move properly on HGTV. Figure out that crap. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We'll get you through the next week or so, all the fights that are coming up. This is your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance, www.hssp.ccsportsjuice.com.